We're welcoming back Ted Savrinsky, professional sports bettor, and I wasn't in yesterday, so first and foremost, Ted, my hat's off to you in winning that Alabama-Clemson bet. And you even taught me this a couple weeks ago. Sometimes it takes that roll of the ball, that break, that lucky break that determines not only a game outcome straight up, but the spread. And I heard that spread swung quite a bit, at least $10 million after that play. But you won the bet. I'll honor my side, and I'm going to be a good host when you come to Costa Rica. Ted, we got a big ball game this weekend in the NFL, Kansas City at New England, and I just want to kind of break it down and get your thoughts on where you think both of these teams are in their head right now, coach-wise, everything else, and, not necessarily a pick. We don't want to do that, but just kind of what you feel at this point going into the week, how these teams are going to match up.
Well, first, let me start with a little national championship commentary, because I'll say this. The onside kick, tied 24-24 in the fourth quarter, might have been the single best executed special teams play I've ever seen anywhere.
Absolutely, have to agree.
And I didn't think I was, that play swung the game in a way that I didn't know that it was going to be swung. And to do it in the fourth quarter, I'll give Saban all the credit, and Alabama, of course, gets the ring.
Yeah.
Even though Clemson backers got the money, and never in doubt, right?
Absolutely, amazing.
Yeah, sweat for both of us the entire game. But now let's focus on the task at hand here, which is breaking down New England and Kansas City. And of course, the Chiefs, I don't know if they're the flavor of the week, the flavor of the month. This team's won 11 in a row now. But of course, that comes with a caveat. We look at the 11 wins in a row. 8 of them have come against bottom feeders. They beat Houston last week against Brian Hoyer. I guess, the Texans were a playoff team. They were not an elite playoff team. Mm-hmm. Other teams with winning records they beat, let's see, they got the Steelers with Landry Jones. They did get a win against Pittsburgh with their third-string quarterback. And, of course, they had the one win at Denver, the game in which Peyton Manning threw 4 interceptions and then was benched, not to be seen again for another 2 months. Every other win the Chiefs have had during this entire span has come against bottom feeders.
Yep.
And the 3, quote-unquote, good teams they faced during that span all, A, weren't good in that game, and B, weren't really that good at the time. So I'm not really sold on Kansas City as an elite contender right here. I'm not. And when we look at the plus 22 turnover margin for the Chiefs during this 11-game winning streak, and we compare that with what happens with the Patriots, well, all of a sudden, KC doesn't look quite so attractive. Let's not forget, when the Chiefs don't win the turnover battle this year, 1-3 straight up, 0-4 against the spread. They're plus 22 the last 11 weeks, but guess what? They're going against the team, the New England Patriots, who has committed the fewest turnovers in the NFL all year. Only 14 giveaways from that Patriots offense. And by the way, KC really banged up off of last week's win, while the Patriots are getting healthier.
And they are, Ted. I heard Edelman is back, and Kansas City, I'm scratching my head because you had opened my eyes to a stat that in the last, it's been a long, long time since a team that won 8 or more games going into the playoffs comes out with that victory in the first round, and they broke that trend. But I keep scratching my head. Somewhere in there, obviously, is the Andy Reid effect, because we have to face it. This guy was successful in Philadelphia, getting them to the playoffs, to the title game. They couldn't break through with the Super Bowl, but he got them to a level consistently. And I think a lot of that has fed into these players. They've bought it. They get it. But you did touch on a couple facts. They're banged up, and the Patriots are getting healthier. My hat is off to Alex Smith, though. Another thing you touched on last week, Ted. His feet are dangerous. He can hurt you the way he moves the ball. And what I've seen out of him lately is just consistency and a look of confidence. So I have to step back with that and go, wow, maybe this team could really take this thing further. But then again, and another fact you pointed out, it's that playoff pedigree, championship pedigree, and you hit it on the head last week in the wild card. So again, who has more playoff pedigree than Tom Petty? Tom Petty, he's a damn good singer, but Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. So I think this team coming in as a whole, Gronkowski, I think that experience is going to bode well for them. But again, that's why they play the game. And when you give a couple weeks for Brady to heal, because he had that top ankle sprain, and that's a concern, but he's getting that extra time to heal. Do you have any thoughts or updates on any injury from that side with Brady? Have you heard anything at all?
Sure. What we've heard, Brady's supposedly fine in practice. He's supposed to get back Sebastian Vollmer, his left tackle, the guy who protects his blind side, who's been out. Impact return for New England. They're supposed to get back Dante Hightower, arguably their best defender, certainly the best linebacker. Impact return. And of course, for KC, we haven't yet got a full status update on Jeremy Maclin, but don't underestimate the effect of the Maclin injury on that Kansas City offense. He's their lone deep threat. And when Maclin is not in the game or not at 100%, everything is dink and dunk from this Kansas City offense. That does not bode well against New England's healthier defense. And, if Maclin is unable to go or if he's limited, I think it is going to have a bigger impact on Kansas City in the game than it will on the point spread. I mean, Maclin might move the needle a half point somewhere or a point, but in terms of his effect on the Chiefs' game plan, he's an irreplaceable player for them, and if he's unable to go, I think it'll have an enormous impact. KC also with a couple of injuries on the offensive line, 2 starting linemen going through concussion protocol this week. Don't know yet if either guy is going to be healthy enough to suit up.
Yeah, so obviously through the week, that's going to make a difference. And, like I was saying, for what Kansas City's doing, I have to step back and go, wow, maybe they can go to the next level. So if they were to pull this off, whether it's covering the spread or just outright, I wouldn't say I'd be shocked. But stronger on the other side, I just feel that playoff pedigree is going to bode well for the Patriots. And again, they're getting healthier. So interesting to see how it plays out. And I know Tom Brady's got to be licking at the chops. Early lines -5, so we'll see. All right, Ted. Well, thanks again. We enjoy having you back. We look forward to getting into another breakdown very soon. And have a great evening and continue to beat the book.